From Sigma Woman, this is the Business for Aligned Women podcast. I'm your host, Clara McKay, your aligned business coach and advocate for all things showing up for your vision. This is a no BS space for brave-hearted women who are actually craving change. I'm dedicated to bringing women's visions into reality, equipping women with all they need to build an abundant future, and shutting down all of the ways that you keep yourself small. Here, we're all about a women-centered approach, non-negotiable value alignment, and making bank without compromising your well-being. Each week, you're already one step closer to your most aligned and abundant future. We're going to talk today about how to stop self-abandoning. And I would say that self-abandonment is the opposite of radical self-honoring. Radical self-honoring is the direct opposing energy of self-abandonment. And I see women self-abandon constantly. When you share with the world that you're going to do this thing and you don't do it, that's self-abandonment. When you start a new Instagram account and you post 5 things and then you don't post again. When you share 100 essays on Substack in a week and then you disappear for 5 months, that's self-abandonment. When you have beautiful gifts and amazing things that you want to share with the world and you hold yourself back, that's self-abandonment. And the opposite is what I'm giving you in my book, Radical Self-Honoring. Before we get into it, I just wanted to remind you that there's just a couple of spaces left for my 6-month sustainable success system for energy-aware women business owners. We start in September and I won't be offering this again till March. If you're into that intentional, grounded, precise way of building business without the overwhelm and burnout, that program is for you. You can book a call with me if you want to chat about it before, but you can also secure your space straight away on my website. And if you, for any reason, don't want to book a call, or there isn't times, you can always just do that call with me on DMs and we can just send each other voice notes back and forth as well, if that's easier for you. Open to talking to you about it in whatever way works for you, but those spaces are closing really quickly. All right. I wanted to read you an extract from my book, from our chapter on self-abandonment. If this is what radical self-honoring is, then what is its opposite? The enemy of alignment is self-abandonment, and unfortunately, this is the go-to way of living for most women. By living within a patriarchal society, a social order that posits men as more valuable and thereby attributes them with more power, women are forever being asked to subjugate our own needs, desires, and vision to help care for and support others. Ask any woman in any family, home, or workplace, what happens when you don't have strict boundaries around how you spend your time? And the answer will be of some sort relating to the fact that miraculously, when a woman is not guarding her time, the needs of others slide in quickly to fill that briefly available space. This is why, in order to get truly ahead, in our current culture, women have to be brazen and determined, which is often perceived as acting like a bitch. If we're taught from a young age that anything other than conducting oneself with near total altruism makes you an awful person, of course we will move forward into a life of overgiving, caring for, and directing our energy solely outside of ourselves. Let's dive into some ways that this might look or feel in action. Some examples of self-abandonment: not wearing what you like, going places or events you dislike, people-pleasing as default, cultivating a physical presentation that doesn't represent how you feel on the inside, being in unsupportive friendships or relationships, excess scrolling time to a checkout and avoid your life, not standing up for yourself in the moment, but then ruminating on the experience later, spending time in unfulfilling places with uninteresting to you people, censoring your expression to not upset your friends or family to the point of feeling repressed, not being calm enough to sit quietly with yourself, not liking yourself and your own company enough to cope with being in quiet solitude, spending your energy on things that you don't care about at the expense of things you actually love, not doing, wearing, speaking how you want due to worry of others' judgment, letting your family or culture make big life decisions for you, feeling like you have no control of your life's outcomes, letting fear run the show, feeling overwrought and overwhelmed with your emotions because you don't give yourself the time and space to properly digest them, not having values or principles, meaning you're indecisive to the point of exhaustion, being afraid to be seen trying, being afraid to do anything you're not yet perfect at, not pursuing your own big goals and passions, frequently getting swept up in others' ideas or goals, perfectionism, being highly self-critical, not knowing or ignoring your needs, ignoring or diminishing your intuition, living in opposition to your values, blaming yourself for everything in your life or blaming everyone else and avoiding accountability, leaning on passive aggression, people pleasing, and quiet manipulation to get your needs met, frequent fantasizing and losing yourself in manifestation visualizations rather than acknowledging your current reality, feeling like you can't ever be your full self, running on external validation and not having an internal source to validate your own worth, trying to fit in at the expense of your own authenticity, not knowing what your own authenticity looks, sounds, or feels like, operating from FOMO and the grass is always greener, struggling to follow through on your word, worrying and future projecting so much that you're not present in your daily experience, playing the victim because you don't know how to be assertive, or you do, but you're too worried about how that would be perceived, never taking responsibility for where you're at, feeling like becoming consistent with anything is near impossible, not knowing what you like or dislike. So instead, just going with the crowd, never allowing yourself the time and space to process your emotions, while sometimes being the main person that others rely on to do this, not having time or proper self-care, not knowing and not remembering who you are on your own without external influences, caring more about how you are perceived by others than how much you like yourself. Introducing the new Everything Done for You branding package. This is a package that I've put together after seeing what women really needed in their business to be able to hit the ground running, feel very confident, streamline their time, streamline their energy, and make running business easeful. In this package, you get a full new brand identity, you get social media templates that you can lock and load, plug and play with, that are all brand cohesive. You will get an on-brand website. You will get flow desk, email funnel, sales funnel templates that are all beautifully on brand and made specifically for your business. And you'll get a bonus UX design and on-brand link in bio site. And you can get all of this for the fraction of what most studios charge for branding alone. This is your one-stop shop when it comes to completely rebranding and refreshing your business for brand cohesion so that you can connect with your target market wherever they are, build confidence, build trustworthiness, and start converting more than you can imagine. These are just some examples, and that was a pretty big list. Self-abandonment can look huge. It can be avoiding your intuition in big life choices, but it also happens incrementally over time. It's in the tiny choices each day that take us further and further from our truth. All of our small choices that you make daily, to not bother sticking up for yourself at work, to not call your partner out for doing 50% of the chore they were meant to complete, choosing to listen to gossip that feels misaligned to keep the peace, or getting your hair done in a way that no longer represents you on the inside, just because you think it's what makes you look pretty or palatable. They seem insignificant in the moment, but they build up to create a life in which you've abandoned your higher self. You're operating on a rote level without discernment or intention. The hidden patterns keeping you inconsistent. Victim mindset, people pleasing, comparison. That is my little extract. And that is talking about what self-abandonment is. And then we go into quite a few chapters on many different methods of how to stop doing this and many different approaches. And we're looking at actions, we're looking at tracking, we're looking at mindset, we're looking at ways of thinking, perspectives, letting go of judgment, letting go of comparison, how to use envy, how to use jealousy, all of these things, so that you can come into a more neutral space and save your energy, creativity for yourself and your own projects and your own vision and desires, and cultivate more peace in your life and your relationship with yourself and with others. The first step that we talk about in self-abandonment is letting go of comparison. And then we have quite a few other stages that we go through, but one of them really is about keeping the promises that you make to yourself. And that's really, if you do that, you'll no longer self-abandon. But it's hard to do that if you don't have support. So I give you quite a few different support systems to do that. And then we focus on the magic of following through. I think you need this book, and I think you'd really like it. I hope you can get it. And if you read it, I would love to know what you think. If you can't tell, getting to share this time with you is something that I find truly sacred. I know that you're busy, but if you've taken anything away from our time spent together today, could you extend the love and share this episode with a friend, your community, or on your socials? Tag me so that I can see it and I can share it too. Or when you have a spare moment, leave the podcast for review. These things cost you nothing and will mean so much to me. Let's get this resource into the hands of more women visionaries and help us collectively move towards our most aligned way of being and doing business together.